Two groups are given the same word puzzle. Group 1 is shown the correct answer immediately. No struggle, no guessing. Just the answer, clearly presented. Group 2 is forced to guess first, even if their guess is completely wrong, before ever seeing the correct answer. Logically, Group 1 should remember better. They saw the right answer with zero confusion, zero wasted effort, zero mistakes getting in the way. But when tested later, something strange happens. Group 2, the group that guessed wrong first, remembers significantly more. Being wrong, it turns out, helped them more than being right immediately ever could. Today, I'm going to show you why your brain actually learns better from mistakes than from correct answers, and why avoiding failure might be quietly sabotaging how much you remember. Most people treat mistakes as something to avoid at all costs. Get it right the first time. Don't waste effort on wrong answers. Efficiency matters. School reinforces this constantly. Red pen marks, lower grades, the quiet shame of getting something wrong in front of others. So naturally, people assume the fastest path to learning is the path with the fewest mistakes. But learning was never actually about accuracy in the moment. It was always about what sticks afterward. And it turns out, the discomfort of being wrong creates a completely different, and often stronger, kind of memory than simply being handed the right answer. Reason number 1 has a specific name in memory research: the generation effect. This refers to the finding that information you generate yourself, even incorrectly, is remembered better than information you simply receive. When you're given a correct answer immediately, your brain does almost no work. It just stores what it was shown. But when you attempt an answer first, even a wrong one, your brain has to search, retrieve related information, and actively construct a response. That searching process itself strengthens memory pathways, regardless of whether the final guess was correct. Then, when the correct answer finally appears, it doesn't land on a blank, passive brain. It lands on a brain that was just actively working on the exact same problem, which makes the correct information far more likely to stick. Reason number 2. Being wrong creates a gap your brain urgently wants to close. When you make a guess, your brain forms a prediction, a kind of internal expectation about what the answer should be. When that prediction turns out to be wrong and the correct answer is revealed, your brain registers a mismatch between what it expected and what actually happened. Neuroscientists call this a prediction error, and it triggers heightened attention and increased activity in memory-related brain regions. Essentially, your brain treats that mismatch as important information worth paying closer attention to. If you were simply told the correct answer from the start, there's no mismatch, no prediction gap, and far less signal telling your brain pay extra attention here. The wrong guess isn't a failure in this process. It's the exact mechanism that makes the correction memorable. Reason number 3. Being wrong feels uncomfortable, and discomfort helps memory stick. There's a small sting that comes with realizing you got something wrong. A flicker of surprise, maybe embarrassment, maybe frustration. That emotional response, even a mild one, activates the amygdala, the brain's emotional processing center, which works closely with memory formation systems. A neutral, correct answer rarely produces this kind of emotional reaction. It's just expected, unremarkable, but a wrong answer followed by a correction carries a small emotional charge, and that charge helps tag the memory as something worth holding on to. This is part of why people often remember their mistakes, and the corrections that followed, more vividly than information they got right immediately without any friction at all. Reason number 4. Correcting something feels different in your brain than learning it fresh. When you're wrong, and then shown the correct answer, your brain isn't just learning new information. It's actively updating something it already committed to, even briefly. This updating process, sometimes linked to what researchers call reconsolidation, appears to strengthen and stabilize memory more effectively than passively receiving information for the first time. In simple terms, revising a belief creates a stronger trace than forming a belief from nothing. This is why students often remember corrected misconceptions long after they've forgotten facts they got right, without ever being challenged on them. Reason number 5. Effort tells your brain what deserves long-term storage. Your brain doesn't have unlimited storage for every experience, so it constantly filters information based on perceived importance. One signal it uses for this filtering is how much effort or difficulty was involved in processing something. Information that arrives easily, especially through correct answers with no resistance, often gets flagged as low priority, since your brain assumes something effortless probably wasn't very demanding to acquire. Information that involved genuine struggle, confusion, or an incorrect attempt gets flagged very differently. Your brain interprets that struggle as a signal that this information required real cognitive work, and therefore might be worth prioritizing for long-term storage. This is sometimes described using the idea of desirable difficulty. The principle that some obstacles during learning, while frustrating in the moment, actually improve retention afterward. Now, it's important to clarify something here. This doesn't mean wild, careless guessing is somehow superior to careful thinking. The benefit comes specifically from genuine attempts, real effort to retrieve or construct an answer, followed by clear correction, guessing randomly with no real effort, and never receiving proper feedback afterward, doesn't produce these same benefits. The magic isn't in being wrong itself, it's in the combination of genuine effort, followed by a clear, corrective answer that resolves the mismatch your brain just created. So here's how to actually use this when you're studying or trying to learn something new. 1. Attempt an answer before looking anything up, even if you're not confident. A genuine guess, right or wrong, engages your brain far more than passively reading the answer first. 2. Don't fear getting it wrong during practice. Treat incorrect answers as useful information, not as failures, since the correction that follows is where much of the real learning happens. 3. Pay close attention specifically to your mistakes, rather than skimming past them quickly. The moments where your prediction and reality don't match are exactly where your brain is primed to learn the most. 4. Use practice tests and quizzes throughout learning, not just at the end. Testing yourself early, when mistakes are still likely, builds stronger memory than only reviewing material passively. 5. When you do get something wrong, take a moment to consciously compare your incorrect answer with the correct one. Actively noticing the difference between what you expected and what's true strengthens the correction significantly more than simply moving on. So the next time you get something wrong while studying, don't treat it as wasted time or evidence that you're not smart enough. That mistake just created something valuable. A gap. A question your brain is now primed to resolve. Getting it right immediately feels better in the moment, but getting it wrong first and then correcting it is often what actually stays with you. Your brain was never built to remember what came easily. It was built to remember what it had to work for.